Welcome back, everyone who joined us today. And today we will have exciting topic. Lots of people who relocating to Minnesota are asking, what city would you recommend to live, or what is the best city to live? So today we will touch the subject and we will discuss one of the most popular place to live around Twin Cities, and it's Woodbury. And today my guest is Cindy Olson, Vice President of Enrollment Management of Dunwoody College of Technology. So thank you, Cindy, for your time. Cindy also a long-time Woodbury resident, and she will share with us some great information about Woodbury. Hi,
Thanks,
Cindy.
Lana. Hi, Lana. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Don't you mind to share your story? So what brought you to Woodbury? How you choose Woodbury?
Sure. So we've been Woodbury residents, my husband and I, for almost 30 years. We selected Woodbury. Both of us were from the Minneapolis side of town, and we didn't really know what life had in store for us back as a newlywed couple. But we knew that we wanted to be close proximity to the cities, and we wanted someplace that would be a good investment and that would kind of set us up for wherever we might land and where life would take us. We really liked the commutes, being so close to 494 and 394 and 94. We could get anywhere in the cities without much trouble, but yet it offered more green spaces, and that was something that attracted us to Woodbury.
Yeah, it's true. It's Woodbury have a lot of lakes and green spaces. That's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
People love about Woodbury, including myself.
Yeah.
So Cindy, for people who have never been in Woodbury, can you say something like in short explanation what best you love about Woodbury?
Well, I think it's a really vibrant community, and it has things to offer for all ages. You can see, there's many walkways and, paths and parks and pickleball courts, and there's always people out and about and moving, which is just kind of an, it's kind of an, high energy place. And it's also very accessible. There's lots of, any amenity that you could need is right here, convenient, with a real neighborhood feel.
Oh yeah, we do have a great neighborhoods, and we do have a great community. You mentioned you live in almost 30 years in Woodbury. Can you tell how Woodbury changed over time?
Well, I remember when we first bought, there were people that would snowmobile up and down Radio Drive on the sides of the road. It had a little bit more farmland than it does now. But the thing that I have liked about how I would say that it has changed a lot in the fact that it has grown, but it hasn't changed in its feel. It still feels, it's like a very close community. And the other thing that I would say is that I don't know anybody that's a city planner for the county or anything, but I would say that they've done a really good job of being very careful to lay out kind of the infrastructure and being really thoughtful about the way that they have planned their growth and managed the growth of the city. So even though it has really expanded, it's still very easy to navigate, very easy to get around. Traffic patterns are very manageable, and you can still kind of get some of those feelings, and you don't have to go very far to find the farmland still too. There's still not there too.
It's true. So regarding neighborhoods, how you would describe neighborhoods, if they are different or if they're the same?
Yeah. There's probably some changes in terms of kind of when communities were built. So there's probably a different feel, between newer communities and maybe older communities. But I really still kind of think of it as one big neighborhood. And I think the reason for that is that Woodbury is really linked by all of the activities that it offers. So, we're all kind of shopping at the same stores. We're going to the same health clubs and gyms, and we're bringing our kids to the same events and festivals. There's always something going on here that kind of keeps everybody together.
Right. And what do you think if it's some communities and some neighborhoods are like more popular? So what do you think from your point of view?
Yeah, well, I live in the Colby Lake neighborhood, and it's a little bit older of a neighborhood, and it's really anchored by there's a lake, there's a lake with a really nice walking path nearby that's got, a nice park and a place for kids and a picnic area. But I think just east of me, there's some newer places such as Dancing Waters is a newer community that has had a really large build out, and then newer than that is the Stone Mill Farms area. I'm sure there are other areas on the southeast side too that are starting to kind of burgeon up closer to Cottage Grove. But yeah, we're definitely seeing growth more kind of at the perimeter and at the edges and into Lake Elmo. It's kind of becoming like a one kind of a pathway that kind of connects.
Well, so, and we can see some new construction growing right now, right? So what would you say, what you can see most in Woodbury, like a single family houses or townhouses or condominiums?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am seeing a lot of single family homes. I think that those are very attractive to families coming in because the yards tend to be a little bit larger still. There's a little bit more property that goes with those dwellings. But on the other hand, most of the communities that I'm seeing as they're coming up, they're being, again, very thoughtful, where they're putting these single family dwellings along with some townhouse options and some connected living, so that you really get a good blend of families and people who have different living structures. Maybe they're single family or a single person, or they're empty nesters, but they're all kind of being, they're building in a way that everybody kind of has community.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and this is what keeping people together, and this is how people helping each other. So from my realtor perspective, I can tell that, for example, majority we still have single family houses, and average sale price for a single family house starts like about 430,000 and to 470,000, and of course we can find much more expensive houses, usually up to 900,000, and of course if someone looking for luxury like over $1 million, it's they exist, but not so many because community already built up. And if we will talk about townhouses, prices for townhouses will start from the price about $225,000 and up to, regarding new communities, up to like 400,000. And sometimes we still can find condominiums with condos priced about like 250,000. So this is just for someone who needs some numbers about places and housing in Woodbury. So Cindy, it's great that we discuss this topic regarding communities and housing, but I know a lot of people choosing Woodbury because of education. They having kids and they always asking, can you give any advice on school? So would you give any advice on school?
Sure. We have two children that we raised here in Woodbury, and we selected the 833 school district. I think there's a couple of other districts that serve different slivers of the city, but I can speak best about 833, having experienced it with our family, and I can't say enough good about it. And I know those that are, with children are going to be looking up, their own independent sources on quality of care when it comes to education, and they'll be very pleasantly surprised with any of the high schools that we offer here throughout the district. From a public school perspective, we were very happy with the quality of education, and that, just found that was very committed to academic excellence. We have some great private schools here as well. People close to us that have attended those options, and then there's some charter schools too that are do very well. And I think that one of the things that I love about our district, and that I'm seeing evidence of, is not just on the academic side, but the clubs and the activities and the sports and the organizations and just the things that are available to participate, that the kids can participate in. You take that and then you add in our, Woodbury Association and our community education network. And there really is something for everyone. Every child can find something where they can connect to and find a sense of belonging. And I think that's a really great thing. I've seen, we've seen things everywhere from, theater and music where the community will come and support those things on a regular basis. There's great sporting events. There's always something going on at the Bielenberg Hockey Arena and places like that. But then there's also our district does really well with FIRST Robotics and some of the engineering events and some Project Lead the Way, things for engineering focused students, and some really interesting activities available.
Since you touch engineering and you're working also with education in Dunwoody College, what advice you can give parents? I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I think that the challenge that parents have is that when they find their kids and they have an interest, there's always that tendency just to go really deep into that interest and to really cultivate. And that's an important thing. But along with that, going deep, you also want to go wide and make sure that you're encouraging your child to take advantage of all of the different activities out there. Exposure at a younger age is really, really important. And studies have linked that to career satisfaction later in life. There's a lot of different pathways of things that students will be able to choose post high school graduation. And so really helping students be aware of all the things that they're good at and all the different choices that there are out there. There's a lot of different great pay, high demand careers out there, and we need them all filled. So the more exposure, the better.
All right. Yeah, I know. I'm also Woodbury resident, and my son graduated Woodbury High School, and we were very happy with quality of education and with all activities that our son achieved over his school time. We talked a little bit about education, so let's talk about some fun part. So, what parks your favorites in Woodbury? Or how many parks in Woodbury? Anything what you can share is the best?
Well, I mentioned earlier that we were attracted to Woodbury because of the green spaces, and I could talk about this. You'd probably have to cut me off. I really am excited and really appreciative and value the not just the pathway system. I mean, we're so connected here as a community. We've got such a good structure of biking, walking paths that take you all the way into other communities, not just within Woodbury, but can get you to Afton, can get you to Lake Elmo, can really allow you. I mean, we're part of a connected pathway that goes up to Stillwater, which is just a great way to spend a day. And then along with those pathways, that just brings a lot of vibrancy and activity around. There's also just the top of the pick for parks. There's the Afton State Park is nearby, and there's skiing opportunities in the winter time and lots of things happening in the summer there. I know because you like to frequent that as well.
Right.
And Lake Elmo Park Reserve is right up the street on Highway 19, one of the main arteries of Woodbury. That's a great place. My favorite, aside from Colby Lake, which is like our daily walking path, but I love Bellwyn Park. It's just a really peaceful, beautiful nature place. And you can actually go and see buffalo there. So it's just a really fun place to take your kids and show them something that they might not be expecting to see. My dog, if you were to ask him, he would say,
yes, absolutely. This actually was another question. Can you recommend any good dog parks?
Fantastic
in Woodbury?
Yes, fantastic. There's one, like I mentioned, it's called Andy's Bark Park, and I love it. My dog loves it even more, of course, but there's like a nice open space for dogs to play and connect. There's a separate place for the smaller dogs, but then there's like these offshoots where you can go walking and you can actually put on some distance and have a decent walk yourself while your dog has plenty of things to sniff and explore. And then there's another one pretty close by Woodbury too. The Battle Creek Regional Park has another really nice off-leash dog park area that's connected to a couple of miles of trails. So there's a lot of activities. And then the other thing that I would add is that even in the wintertime, the hockey rink, the Bielenberg Arena, has a place where you can go walking around a track inside. There's the Central Park that's connected to our library. That's just a beautiful park to be inside and still keep enjoying community spaces and places to connect. Oh, and the one other thing I would mention is that Muhlenberg, I think relatively recently, within the last couple of years, opened up a whole new adaptive park outside where families can come and bring their children who would enjoy playing on adaptive equipment. So yeah, there's lots and lots of opportunities.
Wow, Cindy, you even told a lot, and I even did not know about so many of those parks. So we need to explore.
And we'll have to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So after all this activity, what places to eat would you recommend? What coffee shops or restaurants we have in Woodbury?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I think makes Woodbury a good value, and going back to kind of that original investment perspective on your property, is, there's just such close proximity to everything. We have all of those big box stores that you can mention in your mind. We have all of the restaurants that you might know as chain restaurants or things that you're familiar with here in Woodbury. But we also have a lot of unique specialty places as well. So one of the things that, or even 30 years ago when I moved here, very surprised to find that there's really great Indian food here. You can get some wonderful sushi here. You can get a lot of different things. And then of course there's the taverns and the family restaurants and all of those things as well. But there's great thrift stores. My daughters loved to go thrifting here in their community. Woodbury Lakes is another great shopping place. I think that they've actually just recently announced that they're bringing in even more stores and more appealing sounding restaurants and places into the Woodbury Lakes area. Movie theaters. There's just so many things that are connected and attached and that you can get to. And parking is very easy. It's very thoughtful. It's not difficult to get to any place here in Woodbury.
What is your favorite shopping center? Because you just mentioned the point that we have a lot of shopping.
Yes. Well, I would probably say if there was something that I knew that I needed, I would probably go to Woodbury Lakes, because I would know if it was clothing or if it was something for my girls or if it was a crafting project. That's an easy place. There's also Birchwood Cafe, a restaurant that's right by Woodbury Lakes right now. So it's a place you could go with friends, do a little shopping. I think there's a new breakfast bakery right there. So you could grab a cup of coffee with a friend and do some shopping and still, it makes it more of an event or a relaxing event. But when the chips are down, I am a Target Walmart girl. I'll go wherever I need to go to get get something quick on the way home from work.
Well, so this is another option, what you just said. It's easy access to shopping center, to restaurants. So everything is all together and not far away with great commute to Twin Cities. Cindy, what would you recommend to people who considering, for example, moving from other states to Woodbury, or maybe they even changing location between around Twin Cities? So what would you say about Woodbury? What they should know?
I would say two things kind of come to mind. When I hear people talk about Woodbury, I think there's kind of the one part that's really well known, which is that it's a great place to raise a family. And it definitely is. There's so many festivals and farmers markets, and there's, early childhood education activities, and there's just a plethora for families. But One thing I didn't think of, 30 years ago was that those kids grow up and you need something to do as an empty nester while you're waiting for your kids to come visit you. And Woodbury is a really great place for that as well. There's so many different things happening here. I have been able to rediscover my love of the library just with all the different resources and accesses and the places that are really convenient and great for people who are done raising their kids. There's a lot of fun things to do here. There's pickleball, there's tennis, there's so many different opportunities to grow and to stretch and to learn, and there's lectures and there's things history, and I think even our community education offers chances to take trips together. So there's just I feel like I have an untapped resource here in Woodbury, even still all this time later. And then the second thing I would say is I do feel that people who would be attracted to Woodbury tend to be people who are interested in an active lifestyle. We talked a lot about the trails and the parks and things, but one thing that I think makes Woodbury special, and what I also I think makes it a really good investment, is that not only can you go into the cities, kind of go west, like we spend a lot of our work life, heading into the cities, but we find a lot of our personal life, we're actually heading east towards the river. And it's just a really, really nice location. You can get anywhere from Woodbury within about 45 minutes. And I mean, to get to the river is, I think, about 8 miles away from where I live. Very close. And there's Hudson, and there's Afton, and there's Stillwater. And there's so many places there that become part of your community just by proximity. And you find yourself spending a day in Stillwater, and you'll find friends from Woodbury there too. So it is really an accessible place with a lot of opportunities if you're willing to get out and really enjoy. I think there's a lot of things that I haven't seen yet that I look forward to learning about.
Well, sounds super fantastic. And thank you, Cindy, for sharing. Let me ask you the last tricky question. Okay. So what do you like Woodbury best, during the summer or during the winter?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm going to go with summer because I tend to get out more with my dog, and there's so many patio places to sit and to eat. And I love
sure. With so many options for walking and eating, it's just all the time pleasure to enjoy being here. Yeah. Okay, Cindy, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for all this great information. We did not get any questions online today, but if someone wants to reach out regarding any advice about Woodbury life, please feel free to comment this video or reach out to me directly. And we will tell more, right, Cindy?
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Have a great day. And everybody who is thinking about relocation to Minnesota or around Twin Cities, please watch this video and get us heads up if you like it or not, and if you need more information. Thank you, and bye, everyone.